Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As I always say, if you don't know anything about a subject or an issue, the other side can tell you whatever they want. Even if it's like this, if you don't know anything, you can't assess how much that person knows about the subject or how much is true out of whatever that person says. In this case, we have an article from the Telegraph, and these guys are saying that listen to this. The fight in Bakhmut, which is going to be an update here, the fight in Bakhmut is worse than Stalingrad. Now, I'm assuming people heard about the Battle of Stalingrad, at least heard. If you don't know more than what occurs over there, so to compare Bakhmut with Stalingrad, I think it's not ridiculous. But anyway, what I did here is I'm going to read the Telegraph article with all the information because it's an update, and you're going to see that poor Ukrainians, I think they retreated in another Azovstal metallurgical plant as they did in Mariupol. It seems like they're encircled. That's the Stalingrad. And then I have another article with Stalingrad, like how many troops were involved, how many airplanes, tanks, and so you can make a comparison and contrast and compare who's who, what's what. So let's go with Bakhmut. And yeah, it's fierce fighting over there, but I don't think it's Stalingrad by any stretch of imagination. But I mean, not any, but as a proportion, it's not that. So the Telegraph: worse than Stalingrad. Ukraine troops battle Wagner fighters in Bakhmut metalworks. So it seems like these guys are done because they're in the metalworks, like the Wagner group, Azov battalion was encircled in Mariupol, and they eventually got into Azovstal plant, and then they came out, became prisoners. So Russian mercenaries have stormed a sprawling metal works on the northern edge of Bakhmut. The Ukrainian forces had hoped to turn into a stronghold. Okay, well, in a video, a man claiming to be a Ukrainian soldier described a battle with Wagner fighters in the compound of AZOM metalworks. Explosions and gunfire can be heard as he speaks, and I'm quoting: "The Russians entered the industrial complex. We are trying to knock them out." If they entered, that means you're the ones who are defending, so it seems like you have to avoid to be knocked out. They have entrenched themselves at night. We are trying to storm their positions, the unnamed soldier said. The video, filmed on Thursday but only published on Sunday, lasted 41 seconds. In it, the Ukrainian soldier can be seen strolling through a large industrial complex carrying what appears to be a sniper rifle or a light machine gun over his shoulder. Well, it's either or. Show it to me, I tell you what it is. It's right here, this guy. But I don't see the video here. I don't want to play it because you never know what's going on here. What the hell? Let's see if they give me anything. Nothing, I guess. So, did they play it already? Oh, I don't want to see this. That's the guy with the machine gun? I don't think so. The guy in the back or right here? All right. He said that the fighting in Bakhmut was worse than Stalingrad. Have you been there? You know how it was? Do you have any knowledge of how in the hell that was? Referring to the Second World War battle for what is now the city of Volgograd in southern Russia. Volgograd. So the town of Volga, from Volga. That killed hundreds of thousands of Nazi and Soviet soldiers. Hundreds of thousands. So I don't know if there's as many here in Bakhmut. I'm assuming not. Western intelligence has said that Ukrainian soldiers were fortifying AZOM to lure the Wagner mercenaries into a long siege to drain its manpower and resources. And guess what? The Wagner mercenaries are dumb. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they don't know that. They're just going to wait. They go around it. In April and May last year, Russia's army was forced to lay siege at the Azovstal steelworks in Mariupol for a month before the final Ukrainian defenders surrendered. No, they surrounded it, and they were just smoking them over there. And unfortunately, after a month, they had to come out. They didn't try to storm it. They tried a few times and then they just shelled them, like, you know, rats cornered. That's what it was. I mean, I feel sorry for the Ukrainian guys, but that's what it was. You were defending nothing. They had holed up in tunnels built underneath Azovstal by Soviet engineers to withstand a NATO attack. And the sprawling Azov plant, one of the largest non-ferrous metalworks in the former Soviet Union, was also built to withstand attacks. Oh, so we're screwed again. Azovstal Part 2. And I'm quoting, the plant was supposed to survive even a nuclear conflict. A Ukrainian Metals news website reported, and I'm quoting, there is an underground communication system and it has its own water sources and power generators. Well, we'll see. They all come to an end at one point, don't they? But on Sunday, Wagner Resources confirmed the alleged Ukrainian soldiers' account that they had already breached Azov's compound on the west side of the river. And I'm quoting, these positions inside the AZOM metalwork plant will all allow the musicians to take control of the enemy's fortified areas, the Wagner Group channel reported. Russian forces have immediately Russian forces have made significant advances in Bakhmut. Really? You see how we hear things? Oh no, they're pushed back, they're not. Over the past few weeks, 7 months after the battle for the town began. The Ministry of Defense said that Russian forces have captured the eastern part of Bakhmut and then reached the river that dissected. Yes, but they are surrounded on north and south. The only thing that it is like a south available is southwest. I'm sorry. It described how Ukrainian soldiers had set up killing zones across barren no man's land, part of the planned fighting withdraw. Here it's Prigozhin. This is the mercenary in chief of the Wagner Group. It's a video with him showing where the downtown is, the center of the town is. But look at him. He is on top of a building. And he's over there. He looks shaved, so that's interesting. But hey, maybe, you know, the code, you have to probably be like that. Look at here, what he's got here, 3 magazines. I don't think he's actively fighting, but just in case, I'm guessing. And anyway, he's right there. I'm surprised that the Ukrainians, the Americans, did not provide them with the exact location of this guy to, you know, do what they do best. Or maybe there's an interdiction. They're banned for doing it. But I don't think that someone with a sniper rifle from somewhere is not going to shoot this guy without even knowing this guy is who he is. So he exposed himself right here. How do you think he came here? Probably he flew in a helicopter close by or something, and then I'm surprised he's still alive, I gotta tell you that. The fighting has destroyed Bakhmut, where around 70,000 people had lived before the start of Russia's full-scale invasion. Ukrainian military commanders have said the longer its soldiers hold Bakhmut, the better prepared its forces will be for a counterattack, if you're still alive by then. So the AZOM metalworks have been one of the biggest employers, and evidently was the pride of the town. Well, this is it with this. So let's see now the Battle of Stalingrad. So Battle of Stalingrad was between August 23rd, 1942 and February 2, 1943. And let's see how many people were over here. So it was between the Soviet Union and these guys right here, right? Germany, Romania, Italy, Hungary, Croatia. Okay, and here's commanders and leaders. We got, let's go to the strength, initial strength, how it started. Just starting it, it's much more than the other guys combined. I'm pretty sure in Bakhmut are not 187,000 personnel, by far. This was how the Soviets were, and then this is how much the Germans, the German side was. Now 3,000 artillery pieces, 400 tanks, 500 tanks, I don't think they have them so many in Bakhmut, 600 aircraft, and 300, and say 1,600 by mid-September. Well, at the time of Soviet counteroffensive, so the end of the whole thing, the Soviets, had 1,143,000 men, 894 tanks, more tanks than they started, 1,115 aircraft, and 13,451 artillery pieces. The other side had what? 1,040,000 men. and they have 640 tanks, less than the other guys. They had 732 aircraft, but only 402 operational. So they outspent them. Ba-bam. Now casualties. The casualties, 1,129,000 died, where almost 950,000 combat casualties. The Germans, they had over there between 747,000 and 868. Anyway, so this is what it is. This is where it occurred. This is Volga, and this is Volgograd, or how do you call it, Stalingrad at that time. And right here is the Crimean Peninsula, and Bakhmut right now is somewhere there, somewhere over there. Now this is the distance. All right, so we got that covered. So I don't think is any, I don't even know how to tell you. It's like you have two toddlers fighting compared with a heavyweight boxing heavyweight championship bout. I think I'm not saying, I'm not trying to minimize the Bakhmut losses and all that, but you can't compare it. I mean, you got over there at the end of when the Russians, I'm sorry, Soviets. These guys taught me with Russians. I know they're Soviets. It's just these guys always, when they in the documentaries, when they talk about, they don't say about Soviets. They say Russians. It was not Russians. It was everybody over there. But anyway, it was Ukrainians. It was whomever was in the army, whomever was allowed to be anyway. The Ukrainians were pretty happy to see the Germans coming over, Red Rover, for certain reasons that are not politically correct to mention. But hey, the information and historical events are there. You just have to dig a little bit deeper this smoke screen that they give us. Just look at the pictures and our videos showing when the Wehrmacht started moving eastward through Ukraine, how the population reacted to that. Or you can watch, if you want, Austria, when the Germans did the Anschluss, the unification, or what I want to call it, between Austria and the Reich, das Reich. The Germans, look when that bad dude called Adolf showed up in Vienna. The videos are over there, you can watch them. So yeah, and then we didn't want them here. Okay, it's the population. Anyway, I know the masters are stupid, right? Is that what they're saying? No. Now I'm gonna be like Cathy Newman. You know Cathy Newman. That's the one who interviewed how it's called, Peterson, and anyway, it's just unbelievable. So you're saying, you know that Jordan Peterson, the psychologist. So here we have it. There is fierce fighting. What the Russians will do, I suppose, is what they're going to do. They're going to go around it, around the plant, and they're going to continue going, going to leave around, surround it, keep them under, bum, 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 and that's it. And they will come out after, I don't know, a month, 2, 3, if they want. If they don't, they're going to be over there. And that's it. I don't think they're going to waste time with these guys. I would do that, and I'm not a general. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.